Shalom. First and foremost, giving all acknowledgement to Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai, and giving double honors, much respects to the men in whom I learned this truth from, beginning at the elders, the apostles of Great Millstone. Alright, and just want to say, though I've been not a part of any camps, I learn and I study under the doctrine of Great Millstone. Alright, and this video is brought to you by this article I came across. It says Black Lives Matter justifies Chicago violence mass looting as reparations. So you see, of course I'm going to get into the article and get into some precepts, but amen, people got to understand, all these things, they're set up and funded by Esau, which is, our biggest enemy, the biggest enemy to Yahweh Bashim Shai and to the nation of Israel, and even more so the elect, because here in this article you're going to see how, this Black Lives Matter movement nonsense, they're pretty much advocating violence. All right, and I did a video not too long ago, how these women that set this organization up, all right, they study things like Marxism. There's videos out there that these women, because again, that's who's funded, that's who's pretty much the leaders of this movement. They're controlled by women, right? And typically anything that's run by women, it does nothing but causes confusion. All right, but nevertheless, this videos come out where these women, they admit that they study ideologies like Marxism. When again, that pretty much goes into, basically, two classes of people. If you study Marxism, you believe in overthrowing those that are pretty much oppressing the poor, and they believe in violence. They believe in basically taking matters into their own hands through violence. So clearly, just put it like this, because the scriptures say, he that liveth by the sword shall die by the sword. But without rambling on too much, let's get into some of this article. Once again, the title says Black Lives Matter justifies Chicago violence mass looting as reparations. So you see that, just the title alone, says a lot. But getting into this article, it says Black Lives Matter members in Chicago held a rally on Monday to support and defend the more than 100 people who were arrested for looting in the city's downtown area the previous night. So again, you have these Black Lives Matter advocates and supporting, people that were rioting and looting, basically destroying the economy. Black Lives Matter, these Black Lives Matter advocates, they were supporting that, basically. It says, standing outside the police station where the arrested looters were being held, a Black Lives Matter organizer, Ariel Atkins, and I don't know if she's one of the, and it is a female. I don't know if she's one of the co-founders, or she's just like one of the, like the top advocates. All right, but it says justified the looting and rioting, which caused an estimated $60 million and damages as reparations to which the black community is entitled. So you see, again, um, $60 million in damages, with all the rioting and looting that took place in Chicago. She's basically saying um, that so-called black people are entitled to that stuff anyways. She's saying everything that was stolen, everything that was taken, um, you can you can consider it our reparations. So you see, it says, I don't care if someone decides to loot a Gucci or a Macy's or a Nike store because that makes sure that person eats, Atkins said. It says that makes sure that person has clothes. So you see, just again, just showing what this whole movement, what it advocates. You know, Further on, it says that is reparations. Atkins added, anything they wanted to take, they can take it because these businesses have insurance. So you see the simple logic that's behind this whole Black Lives Matter movement. They're supporting looting and rioting, taking, basically stealing, theft, robbery. They're supporting it because they're trying to argue, they're trying to say that's reparations for us. It belongs to us anyways. We're entitled to these things. Plus, these businesses, they have insurance. This is what they're saying. So reading on, it says, meanwhile, Black Lives Matter Chicago released a statement Monday warning that unrest will continue until the safety and well-being of our communities is finally prioritized. So you see, not only are they advocating this, they're encouraging it to continue with the looting and rioting until we have it our way. And that that sounds like the mindset of a woman. Wants things. She wants things her way. If she doesn't get things her way, it's gonna be all out hell. So that sounds like even if it was even if we didn't know who funded this whole Black Lives Matter movement. I mean, you could tell by the actions and statements like these, you could tell it's ran by a woman. Nevertheless. So again, they're not only are they supporting those that are looting and rioting, they're encouraging it, and they're pretty much warning and threatening if we don't get things our way. Basically, it's going to continue to happen, and it's going to continue to escalate. Which again, that goes back to the whole Marxism theory. The rich are the rich, they stay rich off the poor, and with Marxism, they believe in the poor overtaking the rich, and that includes violence. So reading on, it says the mayor clearly has not learned anything since May, and she would be wise to understand that the people will keep rising up until the Chicago Police Department is abolished and our black communities are fully invested in, the group said. The Chicago Times reported. Yeah, because I believe that that mayor, she's pretty much what she was saying. She was pretty much going into, I don't remember verbatim. She was pretty much going into how basically the whole supporting I'm trying to think because these people, like I said, they're supporting they're supporting these the criminal actions. She said something along the lines of supporting these criminal actions and things like that. It's not going to justify anything. pretty much, you're only going to make things worse, and things like that. That's what the mayor was saying. But um, again, with this whole Black Lives Matter movement, they're not trying to hear that. You know, they want to do away with the police department. They're screaming reparations and social justice and things like that. And they're crying out. They're warning. Sending threats. It's only going to get worse. You know. So let me read on. It says the statement went on to say, over the past few months, 2 million people disproportionately black and brown have lost their jobs, lost their income, lost their homes, and lost their lives as the city has done nothing and the Chicago elite have profited. When protesters attack high-end retail stores that are owned by the wealthy and service the wealthy, that is not our city and has never been meant for us. The new wave of racial unrest was triggered Sunday after an officer-involved shooting in Inglewood, one of Chicago's most dangerous neighborhoods. Police claimed 20-year-old Latrell Allen fired shots at police who responded by firing their weapons, striking and wounding Allen. But activists questioned that version of events, especially after the Civilian Office of Police Accountability, the agency tasked investigating officer-involved shootings, revealed that the officers involved in the incident were not wearing body cameras. The Sun-Times reported. Ultimately, police charged Allen with 2 accounts of attempted murder and 1 account of unlawful possession of a weapon. Now, this whole thing, with this situation that took place with this guy, Latrell Allen, supposedly, there was a narrative that came out that it was basically police fought first and then he retaliated. Then it was another story that came out that this guy, Latrell Allen, he showed up armed. Something about I think he wanted to something about this guy. He was armed, and police showed up and he fired the shots first, and then the police retaliated. So there's different conspiracies going on with that. But again, basically this whole incident with this riot that took place in Chicago, it happened because of that, because they took this guy down. They're trying to say, basically, what so-called black people do, whenever Jake gets, cops come through and they snatch Jake up, whether they arrest him, whether they shoot him, or whatever the case may be. Even though the individual, he might be wicked himself, Jake is just, Jake is simple. But nevertheless, the point being of this video, with this whole Black Lives Matter movement, is you can kind of see more and more how they're going to tie this to, they're going to link this to the Hebrew Israelites, right? Because again, everyone knows that this movement, as well as Antifa and all these other movements, they're funded by these Edomites, all right, and they're a tool used on the left hand, for Esau to paint the narrative to demonize the Hebrew Israelites, because again, they're going to link this to the Hebrew Israelites. All right, because again, here you go, here it is. You got this one of these advocates. Again, I don't know if she's one of the co-founders, Ariel Atkins, or she's just like one of the like a high level advocate or whatever. She's supporting it. She's promoting it. She's encouraging it. She's sending out threats and warnings. All right, and again, because a lot of you Jakes, man, you're gonna fall for the snare of the devil. Because again, this is not more than a trick. Esau, one of Esau's many tricks up his sleeves. All right, this whole Black Lives Matter movement is gonna catch a lot of you. A lot of you Jakes are gonna get mauled down because of this, getting caught up on all these protests and riots and looting. All right. Let me go to 2nd Esdras 5 and 2nd Esdras 5 and 5. It says, And behold, in blood, Slakia, is verse 1, 2nd Ezra 5 and 1. It says, Nevertheless, as concerning the tokens, behold, the day shall come that they which dwell upon the earth shall be taken in a great number, and the way of truth shall be hidden, and the land shall be barren of faith. So, again, the day is coming that a lot of you Jakes, you so-called blacks, Hispanics, Native American Indians are going to get, or basically are going to end up dying. All right, a lot of you are going to get trapped up in the snares of the devil. And again, one of his many tricks in his trick bag is these movements like Black Lives Matter. A lot of you are going to end up getting killed. All right, because again, soon enough, you're going to have eventually, you're going to start having live shootouts. Because again, Esau, he's trying to paint the narrative that he's trying to make so-called blacks, Hispanics, Native American Indian public enemy number one. And eventually a lot of people, they're going to start coming against us, as a whole, but even more so, they're going to start coming against the prophets, the men of the Lord. But again, this is just another one of his tools that he's using, his propaganda, his media, his witchcraft. All right. And, he's using these women, which again, anything that's said about women, more than likely, 10 times out of 10, it's going to cause a lot of confusion. It's going to come to naught. It's going to come to nothing. Here it is. This chick is talking about reparations. She's talking. She doesn't care about looting and rioting and taking, because we're entitled to that stuff, and that's our reparations. This is what she's saying. Whenever they talk about reparations, you should think about scriptures like Zephaniah 3 and 8, where it talks about basically waiting on the Lord, because he's going to give our reparations. He's going to come in and make things right, settle the score. Romans. What is that? 12 and 19. It says, Dearly beloved, avenge not yourselves, but rather give place unto wrath, for it is written, Vengeance is mine, I will repay, saith the Lord. So you see, Yahweh Bashim Yahushua is going to be the one to repay us back for all the atrocities that these nations, beginning especially Esau, Edom, all the atrocities that these devils have done to us, all these dogs, all these heathens, he's going to pay us back. That's why, and he was talking about, the Apostle Paul, he was talking about, he was quoting the Old Testament, what is that, Isaiah 63, where it says, verse 4, it says, For the day of vengeance is mine heart. Excuse me. For the day of vengeance is in mine heart, and the year of my redeemed is come. So you see, because again, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, he's going to be the one to redeem us. The Heavenly Father Yahweh is going to send his only begotten Son Yahushai to redeem the elect. So it's not up for us to take matters into our own hand, and it's not. We shouldn't be out there rioting and protesting and looting. All right, because again, a lot of Jakes are going to get killed, because again, eventually they're going to send they're going to declare martial law. They're going to be sending those troops out, and again, you simple Jakes don't even understand you're destroying your own communities. It's just like, how simple can you get? But nevertheless, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, he's our Redeemer. He's going to be the one to save us, to pay us back. All right. We read on in verse 5. It says, And I looked, and there was none to help. And I wondered that there was none to uphold Therefore mine own arm brought salvation unto me, and my fury it upheld me. So you see, Yahweh Shemel Shai, he's gonna be the one to pay us back, give us those reparations. All right, that's what we're patiently waiting on, for Yahweh Shemel Shai to destroy this place. But again, with this whole Black Lives Matter movement, you jakes don't understand. You're giving Esau all the ammo that he needs to come against us. It's the sword is being sharpened. When you go to Ezekiel, the 21st chapter, verse 11. I start at verse 9. It says, "Son of man, prophesy and say, Thus saith Yahweh, say, a sword is sharpened and also furbished. It is sharpened to make a sore slaughter. It is furbished that it may glitter. Should we then make mirth? It contemneth the rod of my son as every tree." So you see, because again, Esau, he's mounting up his troops. All right, they're basically, they're getting ready to give the green light, to send these troops in, and again, with that being said, when that does happen, a lot of you jakes are gonna get slaughtered out here, because for one, you're a fool if you still think you got constitutional rights and all these other privileges that Esau gives you. All right, but again, when Esau comes down, when that and when Yahweh Bashim Shai brings in that flood, because the scriptures, it talks about how Esau, he's the instrument of Yahweh Bashim Shai. He's the instrument. Esau is the instrument. Is an instrument that he uses to punish. Or he's gonna use to punish you 2/3 jakes. All right. So when it's talking about the sword, it's talking about Esau more so. With all this technology and all his weapons. When they come down to you jakes, man, they're not gonna be sparing any. Young, old, they're not sparing anyone. In verse 11 it says, "And he hath given it to be furbished, that it may be handled. This sword is sharpened, and it is furbished to give it into the hand of the slayer." And Esau is that, again, Esau, he's nothing more than a punishing tool, a whipping stick for the Heavenly Father, for you 2/3 jakes. Because again, a lot of you are going to be killed out here, man. A lot of you are going to be mauled down. Because again, with this whole thing with people, civilians, standing up and standing off against these, local law enforcement and stuff and whatnot. Esau's allowing that shit to happen, because again, they're building the case to come, to clamp down on the society, to institute martial law. All right, Esau's letting that shit happen. That's what you jakes don't understand. He's allowing these things to happen. So matter of fact, there's another one in Romans that talks about how, because best believe, this sword that's being sharpened, it's going to be used. When you go to Romans 13:4, it says, "For he is the minister of the Most High to thee for good. But if thou do that which is evil, be afraid." And that's exactly what, what's going on when y'all are out there looting and rioting and protesting. Because when you jump to verse 1, it says, "Let every soul be subject unto the higher powers. For there is no power but of the Most High. The powers that be are ordained of the Most High." Because, these Edomites, they write unrighteous decrees and laws and whatnot. Ultimately, Yahweh Shemel Shai, he set them up for his will to be done. Nevertheless, and as long as it's not, these laws that they put out there, as long as they're not, going against the laws, statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Shemel Shai, we're not to go against them. Because ultimately Yahweh Shemel Shai, he's the one that set them up. He put him in power. You know, just to make sure I said that right, I'm gonna say it again. The laws and statutes, the laws that they Esau, they bring in the legislation, you know, as long as it doesn't, go against Yahweh Bashim Shai, we are to keep them. Because again, Yahweh Bashim Shai put these people in he set them up. So when you're out there rioting and looting and protesting, you're going against what Yahweh Bashim Shai set up, the ordinances that he set up. All right. So going back to verse 4 and reading on, it says, "For he beareth not the sword in vain, for he is the minister of the Most High, a revenger to execute wrath upon him that doeth evil." So you see, because anytime that you do evil, you go off against Yahweh Shem Shah, you better be afraid, man. You better be terrified. This is why the real men, and the few women, constantly crying out to Yahweh Shem Shah, and asking and seeking that mercy, seeking that mark in Ezekiel 9:4, because we know and understand the terror and power of Yahweh Shem Shah. We don't want to we don't want to befall these things that are coming, but 2/3 Jakes, they're not going to get the message, and this is why Yahweh Shem Shai, he's sharper than that sword. He set things up. Again, a lot of you Jakes, you're going to get caught in that trap, that web. Eventually, a lot of you are just going to end up dying, man. A lot of you are going to be mauled down like nothing, because best believe, Esau, the sword is being sharpened, and it's going to be put to use. All these different nations and whatnot, they're stacking up on missiles and everything, doing their little exercise drills or whatnot, because World War III is going to pop off. It's not like they're doing all these drills and exercises and stacking up on missiles. They're not doing that for nothing, So, it's kind of, like the same thing with Esau, and, they're clamping down on the society and whatnot. It's not like, hey, it's not like, the Lord's going to put the spirit on Esau and, hey, hey, man, these people are rising up, let's just give them what they want, and, everything goes back to normal. Everything's going to be, no. Because, hey, at the end of the day, Esau, he has a perpetual hatred, and it was just, he's just designed that way. He was created that way, to hate you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians. So, again, when Yahweh Shem Shai gives the green light, hey, he's going to send this sword on you Jakes, which is Esau, and, all his military might, and all his, his weaponry, his arsenal. All right, and again, that's why a lot of you Jakes are going to end up dying, perishing, But again, and last point I want to touch on, because again, with this whole Black Lives Matter movement nonsense, it was set up, it was co-founded by women. Like I said, anything that is set up by women, for the most part, it causes nothing but confusion. Isaiah 3:12 tells you, it says, as for my people, children are their oppressors, and that's going into more so Esau, because he has a childlike mindset, and it says, and women rule over them. So you see that, because again, a lot of you Jakes, man, you basically, you getting involved in all this Black Lives Matter nonsense. Basically, you're being controlled, by women, and this is why you have, this situation like with this chick, catch her name, Ariel Atkins. All right, she's a woman, and this chick, she's talking crazy. She don't know what the hell she's talking about, and but again, it's because of a woman. A lot of you Jakes are gonna fall because of, because of these women. Shit like this is set up by women. It's gonna cause nothing but death and destruction. Woe unto you. So I just wanted to touch on that, man. Just if you have any sense, you stay away from all this Black Lives Matter movement nonsense, and all the rioting and protesting, and looting. it will behoove you not to be involved in none of that stuff. You know, lest you catch the wrath of Yahweh Shemir Shai. So with that, I'm gonna give all acknowledgement and all credit to Yahweh Shemir Shai, and giving double honors to the apostles, the elders of Great Millstone, the men in whom I learned this truth from. Till next time, Shalom.